Kent slipped to a 5th straight defeat in this season's Friends Life T20, losing their latest by a comprehensive 62 runs in Chelmsford against Essex. James Treadwell decided to chase after winning the toss, but things didn't start especially well for his side as Mark Bettini struck the first 2 deliveries of the match, bowled by Adam Riley, for 4. Nor could Vernon Philander keep a lid on the scoring early. His first over was deposited for 18 runs, with Hamish Rutherford again getting off to a flyer, with this maximum over square leg included. Rutherford cleared the rope for a second time in the next over, while Philander's second was another expensive one. This time it was Bettini who hoiked to 6 along with 2 other 4s as Essex raced the total along to 58 off the first 4 overs. Thankfully, Claydon was able to bring an abrupt end to the mayhem by taking a well-judged catch off his own bowling to remove Bettini for a 17-ball 33. Graham Napier is not a man you want hanging around for too long, and so the Spitfires would have been thrilled to get him out for a golden duck, Claydon again doing all of the work himself. And when Treadwell trapped the rampant Rutherford in front on the sweep in the next over for a 27 which had occupied only 14 balls, normal service seemed to have been resumed. Indeed, that wicket left the Eagles on 64 for 3 at the end of the power play overs, but then Ravi Bopara and O.A. Shah dominated the action for the next 10, in which they put on 78 more runs. Shah, a skillful T20 player of course, launched into Matt Coles, striking him for back-to-back maximums in the 11th over as Essex threatened to run away with the game. A total of around 200 looked likely as Essex moved on to 141 for 3 after 14, but it was Kent who finished off the innings well. Bopara on 39 holed out off Treadwell, Alex Blake with a catch at deep mid-wicket, and 2 balls later he was joined back in the pavilion by Shah on the same score, Blake completing the catch again to reduce the home side to 144 for 5. Treadwell, as he'd done at Uxbridge on Sunday, bowled an excellent spell, his 4 overs costing only 19 runs for 3 wickets. Claydon also impressed. He had James Foster caught by Treadwell at cover in the penultimate over. And then Greg Smith was run out next ball as Geraint Jones and Claydon combined well, Essex lacking the finish they would have wanted. Not even Ryan Tenduscarter could help them really, in spite of this 8th 6 of the innings, which left Claydon with figures of 3 for 29 from his 4 overs. Tenduscarter was out in the last over as Essex were able to get to 180 for 8 from their 20 overs. So Kent needed a good start, and that was given to them by Sam Northeast, who laid into Napier, taking his first over for 11 with an early 6 included. But overs 4, 5, 6 and 7 failed to produce a single boundary, and then Northeast was bowled by Bopara for 32 to end an opening stand of 51 which had been made in 7 overs. But that meant that the run rate required was already at 10 per over, and things got even tougher when Rob Key gave Bopara his second wicket, substitute fielder Jake Mickleborough completing the catch at backward point. At the halfway stage, the Spitfires were on 73 for 2, needing a further 108, but that proved too much for them. Bopara struck again for figures of 3 for 12 from 3, Shah with the catch to remove Sam Billings, who stopped his shot halfway through. What Kent really needed was an inspirational knock from Darren Stevens, and he threatened briefly with this massive maximum off Reece Topley, but it was a short-lived innings. He gave Topley the first of his 4 wickets 3 balls later, the bowler's second following in his next over as Jones clubbed to long off on 8. It was part of a horrid collapse. Blake was yorked by Topley 2 balls later before Kent lost a 3rd wicket in the same over as Treadwell was run out. In fact, the Spitfires lost 4 wickets in the space of 7 balls as Coles fell at the start of the next over, the 16th, as Tenduscarter got his name in the wicket-taking column as the batsman sliced his shot to deep extra. Those 4 wickets had cost just 2 runs, and now Kent were out of the game completely, in spite of Philander smacking this ball into the distance using the long handle. Topley then grabbed his 4th wicket for figures of 4 for 26 before the match was over in the 18th, when Sean Tate had last man Riley caught by Tenduscarter. Only 4 4s and 3 6s had been struck in the innings, and that was never going to be enough. Kent had collapsed to 118 all out to lose by 62 runs and to send their support home disappointed again. Things just haven't clicked this summer in the T20, and there may be some relief that it's now returned to championship action on Wednesday when they head to the very picturesque surroundings of Cheltenham for a 4-day match with Gloucestershire.